Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to explore the full story of the presidents of the United States, from the birth of the nation to modern times. This is not just a list of names. It is a journey through wars, peace, growth, mistakes, victories, and change. Every president faced different challenges. Some led during war, some led during peace. Some are remembered as heroes. Others remain controversial even today, but together they shaped the United States as we know it. So let's begin from the very start. George Washington, 1789 to 1797. After independence from Britain, the United States needed a trusted leader. That leader was George Washington, the hero of the American Revolution. He did not seek power and wanted to return to private life, which earned public trust. As the first president, he set lasting standards, formed the first cabinet, supported limited government, avoided foreign alliances, and stepped down after 2 terms, proving America would not become a monarchy. John Adams, 1797 to 1801. John Adams was a strong voice for independence and a key diplomat. As president, he chose peace during conflict with Britain and France, avoiding war. He also proved that power could transfer peacefully, strengthening American democracy. Thomas Jefferson, 1801 to 1809. Thomas Jefferson believed in freedom, equality, and limited government. As president, he completed the Louisiana Purchase, doubling America's size. He also supported science, education, and exploration, helping the nation expand westward and grow stronger. James Madison, 1809 to 1817. James Madison, known as the father of the Constitution, led the nation during the War of 1812 against Britain. Though the war was costly and Washington, D.C. was burned, America proved it could defend itself, and national pride grew stronger. James Monroe, 1817 to 1825. James Monroe's presidency is remembered as the era of good feelings. Political conflict was low, and Americans felt united. His most important achievement was the Monroe Doctrine. It warned European powers not to interfere in the Americas. This policy protected young nations in the Western Hemisphere and increased America's influence. John Quincy Adams, 1825 to 1829. John Quincy Adams was highly educated and experienced. He believed strongly in education, science, and national development. However, he faced strong political opposition. Congress blocked many of his plans. Later, as a member of Congress, he became one of the strongest opponents of slavery. Andrew Jackson, 1829 to 1837. Andrew Jackson presented himself as a champion of the common man. Under him, voting rights expanded for white men without property. However, his presidency also caused great harm. Jackson supported the Indian Removal Act, forcing Native American tribes off their lands. This led to the Trail of Tears, where thousands died during forced relocation. His presidency remains one of the most debated in American history. Martin Van Buren, 1837-1841. Van Buren faced a major economic disaster called the Panic of 1837. Banks failed. Businesses collapsed. Many people lost jobs and homes. Despite his experience, Van Buren struggled to control the crisis. William Henry Harrison, 1841. Harrison served the shortest presidency in U.S. history. He died just 1 month after taking office due to illness. John Tyler, 1841 to 1845. John Tyler became president after Harrison's death. He set an important precedent by taking full presidential powers. This rule is still followed today. James K. Polk, 1845 to 1849. James Polk strongly believed in expansion. Under his leadership, America gained large territories, including California and much of the Southwest. However, Expansion increased the conflict over slavery, a conflict that would soon tear the nation apart. Zachary Taylor, 1849 to 1850. Taylor was a war hero with little political experience. He died in office before completing his term. Millard Fillmore, 185-01853. Fillmore signed the Compromise of 1850. It attempted to balance slave and free states. The compromise delayed war, but it did not solve the slavery issue. Franklin Pierce, 1853 to 1857. Pierce supported laws that allowed slavery to expand into new territories. This deeply angered northern states. Division between North and South increased. James Buchanan, 1857 to 1861. James Buchanan is often seen as one of the weakest presidents. He failed to stop the nation from breaking apart. By the time he left office, the country was on the edge of civil war. Abraham Lincoln, 1861 to 1865. Abraham Lincoln is one of the most important presidents in U.S. history. He took office as the nation began to split apart. Southern states left the Union, leading to the Civil War. Lincoln believed the Union must be preserved. He also believed slavery was morally wrong. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, changing the purpose of the war and paving the way to end slavery. After 4 years of brutal fighting, the Union survived. Sadly, Lincoln was assassinated just days after the war ended. Andrew Johnson, 1865 to 1869. Johnson became president after Lincoln's death. He wanted to quickly reunite the country. However, his policies angered Congress. He opposed many protections for freed slaves. Johnson was impeached but narrowly avoided removal. Ulysses S. Grant, 1869 to 1877. Grant was a famous Civil War general. As president, he supported civil rights and fought against groups that terrorized Black Americans. However, corruption among his officials damaged his presidency. Industrial growth and change, 1877 to 1900. During this era, America transformed rapidly. Factories expanded. Railroads connected the nation. Cities grew larger. However, workers faced long hours, low pay, and dangerous conditions. Wealth became concentrated among a few powerful businessmen. William McKinley, 1897 to 1901. McKinley led the nation during the Spanish-American War. The victory made the United States a global power. He was assassinated in 1901. Theodore Roosevelt, 1901 to 1909. Theodore Roosevelt was energetic, bold, and outspoken. He believed the government should protect the people. He broke up powerful corporations, protected natural lands, and expanded America's influence abroad. He also helped build the Panama Canal. William Howard Taft, 1909 to 1913. Taft focused on law and order but lacked Roosevelt's popularity. A political split weakened his presidency. Woodrow Wilson, 1913 to 1921. Wilson led America through World War I. He wanted to create a peaceful world after the war. His idea, the League of Nations, failed in the U.S. but inspired future global cooperation. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945. FDR became president during the Great Depression. Millions were unemployed. The economy had collapsed. He launched the New Deal, providing jobs and relief. Later, he led America through World War II. His leadership reshaped government and global politics. Harry Truman, 1945 to 1953. Truman faced the end of World War II. He made the difficult decision to use atomic bombs. He also helped rebuild Europe and stop the spread of communism. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 1953 to 1961. Eisenhower kept peace during tense Cold War years. He expanded highways and strengthened the economy. John F. Kennedy, 1961-1963. JFK inspired hope and confidence. He handled the Cuban Missile Crisis and supported civil rights. He was assassinated in 1963. Lyndon B. Johnson, 1963 to 1969. Johnson passed historic civil rights laws. He expanded education and healthcare. However, the Vietnam War damaged his presidency. Richard Nixon, 1969 to 1974. Nixon improved relations with China and the Soviet Union, but the Watergate scandal forced him to resign. Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter. These presidents focused on healing the nation and promoting peace and human rights, though economic problems remained. Ronald Reagan, 1981 to 1989. Reagan supported strong defense and free markets. He played a role in ending the Cold War and reshaped conservative politics. Bill Clinton, 1993 to 2001. Clinton presided over economic growth and the rise of the Internet. His presidency ended with controversy but strong economic results. George W. Bush, 2001 to 2009. Bush led the nation after the 9/11 attacks. His presidency focused on terrorism and war in the Middle East. Barack Obama, 2009 to 2017. Obama became the first African-American president. He focused on healthcare reform, economic recovery, and global cooperation. Donald Trump, 2017-2021. Trump challenged political traditions and divided public opinion. His presidency created strong debate across the nation. Joe Biden, 2021. Biden faces modern challenges such as economic recovery, global conflict, and national unity. Every U.S. president shaped the nation in different ways. Some united Americans during crises, while others led through division or war. Each made decisions that influenced millions and helped transform the United States from a young nation into a global power. Leadership, success, and failure all define history.